With Call of Duty Black Ops 6, I think more than ever, Call of Duty has shied away from just being a war game. And in fact, with Black Ops 6, I think the game almost became more of like a spy thriller. And with that, we start to see a bunch more mysteries implemented in the game. Don't get me wrong, there are some that started before Black Ops 6, but this game leaves so many loose ends and so much to the imagination more than any other Call of Duty game. And in this video, I'm not going to go in depth with each one and giving my analysis, but what I'm going to do is paint the picture of 6 unsolved mysteries within Black Ops 6 and go into detail of what they are, the things that we know, and kind of where we are left off with these. From there, I want your opinion. I want you to let me know down in the comments which one of these videos you'd like to see me cover first, and if you want to see me cover all of these in various different videos, simply hit that like button. But you'll see what I mean as we go through these. However, at the end of Black Ops 6, these are 6 unsolved mysteries we need to answer. Starting out, we have to start with the backstory of Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and this all revolves around Black Ops 2, taking place in the year 1989, 2 years before the events of Call of Duty Black Ops 6. In this, we have Frank Woods and Alex Mason going into Panama. They are doing a prisoner exchange. However, Raul Menendez, a Nicaraguan drug runner, is a step ahead of them. You see, Alex Mason and Frank Woods believe that they already killed Raul Menendez. When they go into his compound, Frank Woods throws a grenade and it explodes, and then Jason Hudson tells our characters that that grenade indeed killed him, which is weird to begin with. That is a lie. He was not dead. He was not inside that body bag that Jason Hudson was telling us. And that was in the year 1986. 3 years later, we go into the Panama invasion and we capture Raul Menendez's right-hand man, Manuel Noriega. And when we do, we use him as a prisoner exchange. And we think we are about to shoot and kill Raul Menendez, when in reality, the bullet that Frank Woods fires goes into Alex Mason. Now, in Black Ops 2, there were 2 options. Number 1, you could shoot Alex Mason in the knee. By the end of Black Ops 2, we would find out that since that time, 1989, Alex Mason went into hiding. Now, there's a whole reason for that, but we won't go into that in this video. The other option is you shoot him in the head and he indeed is just simply dead. Now, there is a lot of mystery surrounding this. Number 1, the mole within the CIA somehow got to Jason Hudson and got him to be able to tell Frank Woods to shoot and kill his best friend. Now, Raul Menendez did this by capturing David Mason, Alex Mason's son, and using him as leverage to make this actually happen. But the problem and the unsolved mystery with this is, number 1, why did Jason Hudson lie about Raul Menendez being dead? Number 2, who was that mole? Was it indeed Jane Harrow, who we will get to in a minute? Or was there someone else working with Raul Menendez at this time? But more than anything else, is Alex Mason dead? We have been told over and over again by the developers of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and the people working at Treyarch that indeed he is dead.
He lost his best friend. He killed by being tricked. He witnessed Hudson sacrifice himself in front of him, right, to save not only him, but David Mason, as well.
Now, this does also seem a little bit kabuki theater-esque, as every single time that they say this, they're staring at the camera, looking off, shaking their head no, and never actually say it is confirmed. They stumble over their words when they go to say that. On top of that, the motto of Black Ops 6 being the truth lies plays into that actually not being the case. They also told us throughout the campaign that we would find out the true ending and what actually happened to Alex Mason. But the question is, did we? This is just one of the unsolved mysteries. This next one's a little bit less entrenched. This one falls underneath the character of Case. Now, I already addressed one of the unsolved mysteries being the question, who is Case? But if you didn't already know, he is the main character that you play as in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And we find out that this mysterious biological agent was tested on him to become a super soldier. And in doing so, he had some profound consequences. But one of them that we see within the game is him hearing voices inside of his head, specifically a female.
You remember the tests in the bathysphere? After treating us with the cradle, they tried to mold us into the perfect soldier. They planned to break down the walls of the brain and the body.
Now the mystery is, why is Case hearing these voices? Do they have to do with Cradle as the biological weapon? Do they make him a super soldier? Is that one of those things? And as a matter of fact, can we ask the question, is Case a super soldier due to Cradle? There's a lot of questions that these voices actually lead to. And on top of that, why is it a female voice if it's inside his head?
Calling it the Cradle.
The Cradle.
Cradle. It's in Iraq right now, presumably.
To me, this is by far the most interesting one out of all of them, and that is the murders of the Harrows. Now, this one has to do with our new villain in Call of Duty Black Ops 6, who goes by the name of Jane Harrow. We find out that Jane Harrow is a shot caller within the Pantheon division, which we also find out is a division in the CIA. Again, we're going to come back to that one later. Now, eventually, we go ahead and capture Jane Harrow to figure out what she knows about Pantheon, what their plan is, and essentially just get more information on what is going on there. However, what we end up getting instead is a backstory on Jane Harrow's life and how she snapped and became evil. Because keep in mind, up until this point, she was our CIA handler. She was the higher up to the group of soldiers, to Frank Woods, to Troy Marshall, to Russell Adler. She was basically the Mr. Miyagi to our crew. Now, as we go through her subconscious using MK Ultra, again, another thing we can talk about in a different video, but as we go through her subconscious, we end up finding out about her backstory and what ended up happening to her parents. As it turns out, her parents were murdered by a mysterious assassin who is actually framed up to be Russell Adler.
Anything else?
Negative. We're done here.
It was Adler.
Now, after the murder of her parents, we find out that she joined the CIA to kind of figure out what happened to her parents. And eventually, she comes to a dead end. But someone, a mysterious person, again part of the mystery, slips a floppy disk under her door. And on said floppy disk, we end up finding out that Pantheon gave it to her, and that Emerson Black, someone who was a main character or a mainstay within Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, who gave Jason Hudson his orders, was the one that ordered the hit on her parents, who were members of the CIA. In other words, they were killed from within. Now, the big question is why were her parents killed from within? What were they doing in the CIA? Why did Emerson Black order the hit on them? And why did Jane Harrow seem to think that Adler, Frank Woods, maybe Alex Mason, even Hudson were responsible for this issue, therefore potentially becoming the mole? But let's talk a little bit deeper about that. Moving on to the next mystery. While we're talking about Russell Adler, he must be one of the most mysterious characters in this universe. The reason being, he's always just disappearing, going off into nowhere. And as we know, with Black Ops Cold War, he was brainwashed by Perseus. At the beginning of this game, he has gone AWOL and kind of goes into hiding, but our characters seem to think he's a good guy. But the thing is we never really know where he went or what he does, do we? And it gets even weirder when we find out more about Pantheon, which we'll talk again about in a second. But as we find more out about the CIA and the Advanced Technologies and Applications Division, which developed the Cradle virus, turns out that Russell Adler worked there as well at this strange biolabs facility in Kentucky. He was there in the year 1981 when Case was infected. We don't know why he was there, what he was doing with that, why he turned on Bell at the end of Black Ops Cold War, and the redacted past of Russell Adler is one of the most mysterious things about this game. Pantheon. Technically, Pantheon is the big bad guy within Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Now, this is represented by the singular character of Jane Harrow, but Jane Harrow is not the leader of Pantheon. She is not the founder of Pantheon. And in fact, we already discussed how Pantheon slipped her the disc to kind of make her a Pantheon agent. And in fact, we do know a couple of things. Some people say that we don't know how Pantheon was founded, but indeed we know it came essentially out of the Advanced Technologies and Applications Division and kind of branched out for there as certain people had different beliefs than others within the CIA. And of course, Pantheon turned Cradle from a super soldier agent into a bioweapon. So we know that, so then what is the mystery? Well, let me ask you a question. What is the goal of Pantheon? What are they planning on doing? What do they want to accomplish? And who is involved with Pantheon outside of Jane Harrow? Now, I know you're probably thinking, come on, Ink, we've talked about this already. You have a video out on the ending explained, but turns out the mystery character that I'm talking about isn't the one that is showing off at the end of the game. And in fact, there is a character that fits into the story of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 better than anyone that is actually in the game. There is a mystery character that explains Pantheon, who they want dead, what they do, and a character who fits in such an uncanny way that really, Call of Duty Black Ops and Treyarch actually predicted the real-world future with this character before it ever even happened. Now, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, and I kind of want to keep this one secret at the moment, just because I've seen no one talk about it, and the tie-in with not only the Black Ops universe, but also the real world is absolutely insane. So, these have been the 6 unsolved mysteries that at least I am the most interested in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And believe it or not, all of these I have answers to. I want to make videos on all of these things, but I just wanted to put these kind of mysteries out there in the world before I went out there and tried to solve all of them, so maybe you guys can get your hands on them. And I also want to hear which ones you would like to see me address first. So let me know down in the comments what mysteries you are most intrigued by, what you think about all of these, and maybe some theories that you have down in the comments. Maybe if there's a theory good enough, I cover it in a future video. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed these type of videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn notifications on to stay up to date on everything Black Ops 6, and especially if you're interested in that story. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, peace.
We are